The universe is a mysterious place full of secrets and things waiting to be discovered. It's no wonder game developers put so much effort into hiding references and secrets inside popular games. Get ready to take a look at 10 amazing discoveries hidden in popular video games. Before we start though, click the subscribe button and prepare as we unravel the wonders of our favorite video games. Number 1. Red Faction Armageddon, Mr. Toots. Mr. Toots was by far the thing our childhood dreams were made of. Only the imaginative team that came up with Red Faction Armageddon could have possibly developed a weapon like Mr. Toots. As his name suggests, he's a rainbow unicorn that can shoot rainbow laser beams from his bum. It's both frightening and strangely satisfying to lay waste to your enemies with Mr. Toots. We're not sure if he's uncomfortable, but from the look on his face when you're using his gaseous powers, he just might be. The extremely accurate rainbow can be shot like a laser that can destroy anything in its path. Enemies tend to explode from the sheer impact of the force, but they turn into groups of rainbows and butterflies and then quickly disperse. If you want the highly accurate and extremely dangerous Mr. Toots as a weapon of your own, there are two ways to obtain him for your collection. The main way to score Mr. Toots of your own is by finishing the initial storyline once. You can also find him during the first mission by following a secret corridor. We promise the game itself is fun to play without Mr. Toots, but who doesn't want to have a magical unicorn that shoots rainbow lasers? It also provides some pretty epic replayability to a game that's already exceptional as is. Number 2. Metal Gear Solid, Mind-Reading Psycho Mantis. What made Metal Gear Solid memorable was that they introduced something that we had never seen before. Take for example, the Mind-Reading Psycho Mantis, a character that could seemingly read the player's mind and tell us things that we liked. We've got to give the game designers props for being creative and using new technology that hadn't been introduced to gaming yet. In the game, you'll be introduced to Mantis after your companion Meryl begins to act strangely, shouting things like, "Make love to me, Snake, and hold me." Up until this point, there's been no romantic chemistry between Meryl and Snake. A strange man appears and you realize that Meryl's being controlled. So you knock her unconscious and anger the man that introduces himself as Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis will eventually make comments about his telekinetic powers. You may also laugh it off until he mentions how much you like certain Konami games. Take for example Castlevania. He'll also note how much you save them. He can do this because he reads your memory card, which was unheard of at the time. Another thing to add is that in order to beat Psycho Mantis, you'll have to unplug your controller from port 1 to port 2 so that he can't read your mind, otherwise he'll be able to dodge every attack you throw at him. Number 3. Hitman Absolution, Ice Cream Truck. It's summertime, and who couldn't go for a sweet treat like an ice cream cone? Even the devious Agent 47 from Hitman Absolution deserves a special treat once in a while. In the 10th mission of the game, called End of the Road, you'll discover you've reached the desert. Here's where you'll have to use Agent 47 to kill off Lenny the Limp Dexter, who is the son of Blake Dexter. Before you do so, you'll see Lenny is digging a hole in the middle of the desert, and 47's eating an apple and questioning the man about Victoria's location. Lenny will eventually give up the information, and 47 will toss his apple to the side. Agent 47 will instruct Lenny to start walking. There are a variety of ways to take Lenny out, but if you're trying to earn an achievement, then the best method might be to just drive away and leave Lenny alive. You'll unlock the achievement titled Not Worth It with additional bonus dialogue from Lenny. If you're feeling less kind that day, then there's a unique way to kill Lenny that's waiting to be unlocked. You'll have to find and shoot all 5 vultures in the level area while they're flying in the air and not perched. This will unlock an ice cream truck that will speed into the area and run Lenny over. We're pretty sure that the ice cream man from Legion is the one behind the gruesome act, but don't quote us on that. Number 4. Portal 2, Doug Rattmann. Doug Rattmann, or the Ratman, is probably one of the most interesting characters of the Portal series. Although we never do get to see him. We know that he's a former Aperture Science employee and one of the few survivors of GLaDOS flooding the Enrichment Center with a neurotoxin. He was first introduced through his murals in Portal, and then his story was expanded in Portal 2 Lab Rat. As mentioned, we only know of Ratman through his secret dens throughout Portal, where each time he's appeared to be living for quite some time, frantically scribbling and writing to stay sane, although his mental state is questionable judging by the ramblings he presents us with. In Test Chamber 16, you'll find the well-known statement that cake is a lie, written in black. Test Chamber 17 provides Ratman's obsession with his companion cube. You'll also discover in Portal 2 that Ratman has an obsession with combining a cat and a companion cube, which could be a reference to Schrodinger's cat. After Shell escapes the incineration, she discovers more of Ratman's scribblings of help and warning. But right before the massive sentry turret ambush, you'll see no sign of Ratman's ramblings. And it will lead players to believe that he's no longer alive. Although some players have claimed to see sightings or hear mysterious voices that may be Ratman's, although these haven't been definitive answers as to whether or not he's alive. All we know is that he still remains one of the most mysterious and interesting characters even after we've been given a backstory. Number 5. Dead Space 2. Hand Cannon Foam Finger. It's pretty difficult to make an amazing game like Dead Space 2 better than it already is. Although, if you add a novelty weapon like the Hand Cannon Foam Finger, you can call us impressed. If you're a hardcore sports fan, this may be the perfect weapon to take out your enemies with. The only way you can score it though is if you complete the game on hardcore mode. The primary fire is described as bang bang, while the secondary is more of a pew pew pew, and after the button's pressed, you'll hear Isaac exclaim one of these two phrases. The important thing about this weapon is that it doesn't require ammunition and has a high rate of fire. But only as long as the player can quickly pull the trigger. The hand cannon has been described as one of the best weapons in the game. It's hard to aim at a distance, but if the player continuously spams fire, they'll eventually be able to nail a distant target. Another cool feature of the weapon is how quickly it can take out a female tripod inside the Church of Unitology. Before the hand cannon, this was no easy feat, but with this weapon, you can shoot the tripod around 20 times in the stomach rather than in the tongue to destroy it. Did we mention that the foam finger also acts as a cursor in the game? This is something that anyone can get excited over. Forget about killing major bosses, we just want the foam finger cursor edition. Number 6. Dead Island. Jason Fight. For some reason, video game developers must think that gamers are hardcore horror movie fans. Okay, so we might like the occasional scary movie, but what's the obsession with trying to insert Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees into perfectly good games? Mortal Kombat, we're looking at you. Although we're not really complaining, because we love the classic horror film characters as much as the next gamer. In Dead Island, Jason is one of the hostile survivors featured on the island. The hero will find a pathway to Jason's house adorned with crucified corpses that are Jason's victims. You'll find Jason outside of his house fighting off a horde of undead. If you're feeling daring, you should hit Jason while he's preoccupied, although we can't guarantee a good outcome if you do. If you want to easily kill Jason, you'll need to acquire a vehicle from a nearby safe zone. You'll next need to crush him against the side of his house. Another option is to sneak in and grab his chainsaw before he notices. This is much more risky and is not recommended. Number 7. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Final Fantasy poster. In the dark and twisted world of Deus Ex, there's still one shining light that keeps us afloat. This is the poster which reveals to us that the Final Fantasy series will continue to live on. It's slated to reach all the way up to Final Fantasy 27 by the year 2027. We're not sure we believe that one after the amount of time we had to wait for Final Fantasy 15, but it is possible that they could release 12 games in the next 10 years. Not likely, but you never know. We were shocked that Square Enix created a game like Deus Ex to begin with. Where are the extra long titles and big-haired teenagers that we love? If you want to see the nod to the Final Fantasy series, you'll have to enter into Pritchard's office at the beginning of the game. There you'll spot the poster with a stern gothic female character with long brown hair and a flowery headband hanging on the wall next to his motorcycle. We're wondering if Square Enix is making a self-deprecating joke, since we know that their release times for games have become lengthier. Or maybe they're quietly giving us hope that the Final Fantasy franchise has no foreseeable ending. Either way, we secretly hope it's the latter. Number 8. Halo 3. Caveman People. We're not even sure why, but this strange and amazing discovery in Halo 3 has consistently been in our nightmares for quite some time now. Halo 3, with all of its amazing gameplay, has one secret that is as mysterious as it is creepy: the Cavemen. The family of cavemen can be found after Sergeant Major Johnson reports that his Pelican's been shot down. Players can move to the left where they'll come across some rocks. Navigate it right, then you'll be able to crouch down under a ledge to see a family of cavemen. In this level, there's also a lone caveman that can be viewed on a cliff by either using a sniper rifle or binoculars in the spot where Sergeant Johnson's rescued. Finally, to find the hidden caveman, you'll see he's hidden in the crook of a tree just across from a body of water, but it's only the silhouette that can be seen. We still have questions, like who are those cavemen and what's their purpose? Also, why do they all have Marcus R. Leto's face? Apparently, the caveman started as a joke with the internal name the Goriletto after an email prank occurred that involved photoshopping Marcus Leto's face on a female gorilla. Number 9. Just Cause 2. Lost Island. Just Cause 2 is another game full of mystery, including a lost island by the name of Hantu Island. Hantu means ghost or demon in Malay. It refers to the myth that the souls of cannibals live there. That's some pretty deep stuff for a video game. It's revealed in Stranded that the island is inhabited by 100-year-old Japanese soldiers that believed World War II is still being fought. It's strange since the soldiers have assault rifles and modern trucks, but you can't be easily transported to the island since there are no discoverable locations. In order to get to the island, you'll have to fly an airplane over it, which will result in an automatic crash. You could be inside the fastest airplane in the game, and it will still result much the same way with you on the island. The island is also based off the formerly popular TV series Lost, and several important features are part of the game. You'll discover the smoke monster, the word search written in the stand with the wreckage of Oceanic 815 nearby, and the hatch from the show. For any fans of the TV series, the addition of this island was monumental, since most games only add small Easter eggs or references to pop culture. Just Cause 2 dedicated an entire island for a fanbase, which is exactly what makes it such an awesome game. Number 10. Borderlands 2. Double Rainbow. If you were born before 2010, you would have understood the double rainbow references that you can discover in Borderlands 2. Of course, if you were born after 2010, we suggest you shouldn't be playing games like Borderlands 2 because there's a lot of adult humor and violence, and you're not even in 2nd grade. Anyone that's played the game has fallen in love with the characters, the gameplay, the weapons, and even at times the annoyances of Claptrap. There's one amazing discovery in the game on the isolated cliff in the Highlands at Hyperion Bridge that will amaze you. Go down to the small camping area with a tent, and when you reach this area, a double rainbow will appear. Claptrap or Handsome Jack will quote lines from the famous video as the double rainbow appears above Overlook. The player will then unlock the What Does It Mean achievement, and we're not really sure what it does mean. If you want to get scientific, a double rainbow forms when there are 2 light reflects inside of a raindrop. It's not exactly the spiritual awakening that the double rainbow guy makes it out to be. Now, playing Borderlands 2, that might be as close to a spiritual awakening as you can get when it comes to video games. We've had an opportunity to take a look at some pretty amazing discoveries hidden in popular video games. Did we mention some of your favorites? If not, what are some amazing discoveries that you've uncovered? Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll join us next time as we reveal more cool secrets and mysteries from our favorite games.